The boy's name was Amir. He was only 12 years old, but life had already taught him many hard lessons. He lived with his family in a small old house in one of the poorest parts of the city. The streets near his home were narrow and crowded. Dust and noise filled the air. Every day was a struggle, but Amir never gave up hope. He wanted to help his family and make a better life for himself and his younger siblings. Amir's father had been sick for a long time and could not work much. His mother did what she could, cleaning houses and washing clothes for neighbors. Amir was the oldest child, and he took his responsibility seriously. Every morning before school, he helped his mother with chores, then went to classes, and after school, he did small jobs to earn money. Sometimes he sold fruits from a small basket. Other times he ran errands or cleaned cars. He was tired most of the time, but he never complained. Amir dreamed of going to college one day, but he knew that without money, it would be very difficult. One sunny morning, Amir was walking through the busy market on his way to deliver a small package. The market was full of people shouting and calling out to sell their goods. Vendors arranged colorful fruits, vegetables, and spices on wooden tables. Children ran around laughing, and the smell of fresh bread mixed with the scent of flowers from a nearby stall. Amir liked the energy of the market, but he kept his eyes on the road. He knew he had to finish his job quickly and get back home. Before dark, as he walked past a crowded street corner, Amir suddenly heard a soft cry. He stopped and looked around. There, near the edge of the busy road, was a woman sitting on the ground. She looked very tired and was holding her stomach. Her face was pale, and her clothes were expensive but wrinkled. People nearby were walking past without noticing her, too busy with their own lives. Amir's heart beat faster. He knew something was wrong. Without thinking twice, Amir ran closer to her. "Are you okay, Omi?" he asked gently. The woman looked up, her eyes filled with pain and fear. I don't feel well," she whispered. Amir saw that she was pregnant. He could tell because of the shape of her belly and how carefully she held it. The woman tried to stand but almost fell. Amir caught her arm to help her sit more comfortably. "Don't worry," he said with a kind smile. "I will help you." The street was noisy and busy, but Amir focused on the woman. He looked around for someone to call for help, but no one was paying attention. Many people walked past quickly, afraid to get involved or thinking someone else would help. Amir felt a strong urge to protect this woman, even though he didn't know who she was. He took out his small phone from his pocket and called the local ambulance service. His hands shook a little as he spoke clearly into the phone, explaining the woman's condition and location. "Please send help quickly," he said, trying to stay calm. The woman watched him quietly, surprised by the boy's bravery. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice soft and weak. While they waited, Amir held her hand and talked to her in a gentle voice. He told her stories about his school, his family, and how he liked to dream about the future. The woman smiled faintly and listened. The pain in her eyes seemed to ease a little. After some minutes, the sound of sirens grew louder. A small ambulance pulled up nearby. 2 paramedics jumped out and quickly came to the woman's side. Amir explained everything to them. They carefully helped her onto a stretcher. Before she was taken into the ambulance, the woman looked at Amir with tears in her eyes. "You were very kind," she said quietly. "Thank you for saving me." Amir blushed but felt proud. He had never been thanked like this before. As the ambulance drove away, Amir watched until it disappeared in the distance. For the rest of the day, Amir could not stop thinking about the woman. Who was she? Why was she out alone and in trouble? He hoped she would be okay and that her baby would be healthy. That night, when he returned home, his mother saw the tiredness in his eyes, but also a new light, a sense of hope and courage. She hugged him tightly. "You are a good boy, Amir," she said softly. Little did Amir know, this small act of kindness would change his life forever. The woman he helped was not just anyone's shoe, was one of the richest people in the city. A millionaire known for her power and influence in what she whispered to Amir before leaving that day would bring tears to his eyes and give him strength he never had before. The ambulance drove fast through the busy city streets, its siren cutting through the noise. Inside, the paramedics worked carefully to make sure the woman was comfortable and safe. Amir had never seen an ambulance up close before, and though he stayed outside, His heart was with the woman he had helped. He wanted to be there for her, but knew he had to wait. At the hospital, doctors and nurses took over immediately. The woman was rushed to a special room where they could watch her and her baby closely. The room was full of machines with blinking lights and soft beeping sounds. Amir waited in the hospital's small waiting area, feeling nervous. He wasn't used to hospitals. The white walls and bright lights made him feel even more anxious. While he waited, Amir thought about his family back home. His mother was probably worried about him. His little sister might be hungry. Couldn't leave now. He had to stay and see what happened to the woman. She needed help, and he wanted to make sure she was okay. News of Amir's brave act began to spread. A nurse had quietly told the hospital staff about the boy who had found the woman and called for help. Soon, people started asking questions about him. A kind doctor came to talk to Amir. "You did a very good thing, young man," she said with a warm smile. "You saved a life today." Amir felt shy but proud. He never thought that his small act of kindness would be noticed by so many people. But at the same time, he felt a little out of place. The hospital was full of rich and important people, and he was just a poor boy from a small neighborhood. Hours passed slowly. Nurse came out and told Amir that the woman had given birth to a healthy baby boy. Amir's heart leapt with joy. The woman and the baby were safe. The nurse said the woman wanted to see Amir. Amir was led to a quiet room where the woman rested. She looked tired but happy. Her eyes shone when she saw him. "You came back," she said softly. "Thank you for everything." Amir smiled and looked down, feeling a mix of happiness and nervousness. He didn't know what to say. The woman reached out and took his hand gently. "You are very special," she whispered, her voice full of warmth. Amir felt a lump in his throat. He wanted to ask who she was, but he waited quietly, listening. The woman told him her name was Layla. She was a millionaire who owned many businesses in the city. She traveled a lot and sometimes forgot that not everyone had the same life as her. She said she was very grateful to Amir because he had saved her and her unborn child. Leela's story surprised Amir. He had never met someone so rich before, and he never thought such a person would be in trouble like that. She explained that sometimes even rich people face dangers and need help. She said that kindness and courage are more important than money or power. As they talked, Amir realized that Lila was not just rich, but also very kind and humble. She cared about people and wanted to use her wealth to make the world better. Layla asked Amir about his life. He told her about his family, his school, and his dreams. She listened carefully and nodded. "You are very strong and brave," she said. "I want to help you, Amir. You deserve a chance to reach your dreams." Amir felt tears in his eyes. He had never heard such words before. No one had ever offered to help him like this. Before leaving, Lila leaned close and whispered something that touched Amir's heart deeply. She said, "Remember, no matter where you come from, your kindness and courage will take you far. Never lose hope." Amir held her hand tightly and promised to remember her words. When the time came, the doctors helped Leela and her baby leave the hospital. Amir watched as she left, feeling a mixture of sadness and hope. Back at home, Amir's family listened in amazement when he told them what had happened. His mother hugged him and said she was proud. Amir kept thinking about Leela's whispered words and the baby's safe arrival. The next days were busy for Amir's school continued, and he did his usual jobs to help his family. But something inside him had changed. He felt stronger and more confident. He believed that good things could happen, even for someone like him. Amir also learned that Leela was looking for him. She wanted to meet him again and talk about how she could help. A kind woman from Leela's team came to Amir's neighborhood to find him. She brought a small gift and invited Amir to visit Layla's home. At first, Amir was unsure. The thought of going to a big, rich house was scary. He had never been to a place like that. But his mother encouraged him. She told him that this was a chance he could not miss. When Amir arrived at Leela's home, he was amazed. The house was big and beautiful, with gardens and bright rooms. But Leela greeted him with a warm smile, not as a rich woman, but as a friend. Leela showed Amir her baby boy named Sami. She told him that because of his help, Sami was alive and healthy. She said she wanted to give Amir and his family a better life, education, healthcare, and opportunities. Amir was touched, but also nervous. He did not want to feel like a charity case. Lila understood this and said, "This is not charity. Amir, it is a chance to pay forward your kindness and bravery. You have a bright future, and I want to be part of it." Amir felt a new hope rising in his heart. He knew that life would still have challenges, but now he was not alone. Someone believed in him. The story of Amir and Lila became an inspiration. For many people in the city, it showed that kindness and courage could bring people together, no matter their background. Amir's small act of help had created a bond that would change both their lives forever. Amir stood in the quiet room of the hospital, watching the woman who had become very important to him. She held her newborn baby close, gently rocking him with care. The soft cries of the infant filled the room, and Amir felt a strange mix of happiness and sadness inside. He thought about how just a short time ago this woman was struggling on the busy street, and now she was safe and holding her child. It was a miracle to him. Lila looked at Amir with eyes full of gratitude. "You saved us both," she whispered softly. "Without you, I don't know what would have happened." Amir shook his head, feeling shy. "I just helped. Anyone would have done the same?" But Lila smiled kindly. "Not everyone would. You have a special heart, Amir." The room was filled with a quiet peace. The busy world outside seemed far away. For a moment they shared a bond that went beyond money or social status. It was a simple human connection, born from kindness and courage. The hospital staff continued their work, making sure Lila and her baby were healthy. Amir waited patiently, though his mind was full of questions. He wanted to know more about Lila's life, about the world he had never known. As the hours passed, Amir noticed that the hospital visitors were curious about him. Nurses whispered and smiled. Doctors came to greet him. Someone even took a picture of him with Lila and the baby, which would later be shared in newspapers and on social media. Amir felt a mixture of pride and nervousness. He had never been in the spotlight before. He wondered what his friends and neighbors would think. Would they see him differently? Would his life really change? When Layla was strong enough, she asked the hospital staff if Amir could stay nearby. She wanted him to be close, to know that she appreciated him. The doctors agreed, and Amir was given a place to rest in the hospital. During the next few days, Layla and Amir talked a lot. She told him stories about her life, how she had started from a small business and worked hard to build her fortune. She also told him about the challenges she faced as a pregnant woman alone in the city. Sometimes even the richest people have moments of fear and loneliness. Amir shared his own stories too, about his family, his school, and the struggles he faced every day. Layla listened carefully, never judging or interrupting. She admired Amir's strength and determination. One afternoon, Layla held Amir's hand and said, "You have a bright future ahead of you, Amir. You are brave, kind, and smart. I want to help you achieve your dreams." Amir's eyes filled with tears. He had dreamed of a better life, but never thought it could really happen. Now, sitting beside this woman who had once been a stranger, he felt hope bloom inside his heart. Layla made a promise to Amir. She said she would help his family, provide him with education, and give him opportunities he had never imagined. She also told him that he must never forget where he came from and the values that made him special. Amir nodded, feeling a deep sense of responsibility. He wanted to make his family proud and live up to the trust Layla had placed in him. Meanwhile, the hospital became a place of new beginnings. Layla's baby, whom she named Sami, grew stronger each day. Amir visited often, watching the tiny boy open his eyes and respond to his mother's gentle touch. The bond between Amir and Layla grew deeper, built on gratitude and respect. But Amir's new life was not without challenges. After the news of his bravery spread, some people in his neighborhood treated him differently. Some were proud and supportive, while others were jealous or suspicious. Amir had to learn how to handle both kindness and envy. At school, his classmates asked questions. Some admired him, but others teased him for suddenly being famous. Amir tried to stay humble and focused on his studies, but it was not always easy. At home, Amir's family was overjoyed but also worried. They wondered how life would change with Lila's help. Would they lose their old friends? Would Amir become too different from the boy they knew? Amir promised them he would stay true to himself. He wanted to keep the love and care that made his family strong. As weeks passed, Leila invited Amir and his family to visit her home. The invitation was both exciting and frightening for Amir. He had never been inside a mansion or seen such wealth before, but his mother encouraged him to accept the offer. "This is your chance," she said. "Don't be afraid." When Amir arrived at Leila's home, he was amazed. The house was beautiful, with high ceilings, shiny floors, and large windows that let in the sunlight. Gardens surrounded the house, filled with colorful flowers and trees. But what caught Amir's attention most was the warmth in Leila's smile. Leila welcomed Amir and his family as if they were old friends. She showed them around the house and introduced them to her staff, who treated Amir with kindness and respect. For the first time, Amir saw a life that was very different from his own, but felt no fear or shame. He realized that kindness and friendship could cross all boundaries. Leila sat with Amir and talked about his dreams. She wanted to help him go to a good school, get books and supplies, and prepare for a bright future. Amir felt tears of joy and gratitude, but Leila also reminded him, "You must always remember who you are, Amir. Your heart is your greatest strength." Amir promised he would never forget. The visit ended with a warm hug and a promise to stay. In touch, Amir left the mansion feeling hopeful and strong. Back in his neighborhood, Amir faced new challenges. Some people were kind and happy for him, but others whispered behind his back. They did not understand why a poor boy was suddenly close to a millionaire. Amir tried not to let the whispers bother him, focused on his studies and helping his family. Every day he remembered Leila's words and the promise he had made. The story of Amir's courage and kindness continued to inspire people across the city. It showed that no matter where someone starts in life, bravery and a good heart can change everything. Amir's life was beginning to change, but he knew that the real journey was just starting. Amir's life began to change in ways he had never imagined. After the visit to Leila's beautiful home, things started to move quickly. Leila was determined to help Amir and his family have a better life. She arranged for him to attend a good school with books, uniforms, and everything he needed. Amir felt proud walking through the gates of his new school. The buildings were clean, the classrooms were bright, and the teachers were kind and patient. It was different from the small school he used to attend. But he was excited to learn and grow. At home, his family felt the change too. They moved to a bigger, safer house in a better neighborhood. It was a place where Amir and his siblings could study quietly and play outside without fear. His mother no longer had to work so many hours, and his father received medical care that helped him feel stronger. Amir's little sister smiled more often, and the whole family seemed happier. Despite the new comforts, Amir stayed humble. He never forgot where he came from. Every day, he remembered the crowded streets, the small house, and the struggles they had faced. He knew that kindness and hard work had brought him this far. He promised himself he would never lose those values. School was not always easy. Some students looked at Amir differently because of his sudden change in life. Some were friendly, but others were jealous or distant. Amir learned to be patient and kind to everyone, even when they were not nice to him. His teachers noticed his good heart and strong spirit. They encouraged him to keep working hard. Amir also met new friends who shared his dreams and hopes. Together they studied and played, helping each other succeed. Amir found joy in learning new things and discovering his talents. He loved reading stories, solving problems, and imagining a future where he could make a difference. Leila kept in touch with Amir, offering support and guidance. She told him stories about her own life, how she had faced difficulties, but never gave up. She believed that education was the key to success and encouraged Amir to aim high. One day, Leila invited Amir to an event she was hosting. It was a gathering of people who wanted to help children like Amir. There were doctors, teachers, business people, and artists. Everyone wanted to make the world better for children who had hard lives. Amir felt proud to be there, sharing his story and meeting people who cared. At the event, Layla spoke about Amir's bravery and kindness. She said, "Amir is an example for all of us. No matter where you come from, your heart and courage can change your life." The audience applauded warmly, and Amir felt shy but happy. Back home, Amir's family celebrated the changes. They were thankful for Leela's help, but also proud of Amir's hard work. They knew that this was only the beginning of a long journey. Amir faced challenges too. Sometimes the pressure of new opportunities was heavy. He worried about making mistakes or disappointing those who believed in him. But whenever he felt afraid, he remembered the day he helped Layla and the words she whispered to him. "Never lose hope." These words became his strength. Amir learned that hope was not just a feeling but a choice, to keep trying, to be kind, and to believe in himself. At school, Amir began to dream bigger. He wanted to become a teacher to help other children. He wanted to build schools in poor neighborhoods so that no child would have to struggle like he did. His dreams grew stronger every day. Lila supported Amir's dreams. She helped him find books and resources. She introduced him to people who could guide him. She became a mentor and a friend. Amir also began helping his community, shared his story with other children, encouraging them to be brave and kind. He volunteered at local centers and helped younger kids with their homework. He wanted to give back, just like Lila had given to him. Though Amir's life had changed, he never forgot the small boy who had run to help a stranger on a busy street. That boy's courage had started a journey full of hope and kindness. One quiet evening, Amir sat with his family under the stars. He thought about everything that had happened. Tears came to his eyes, tears of joy and gratitude. He whispered a promise to himself. "I will always be kind. I will always be brave. And I will help others, just like I was helped." His family smiled and hugged him. They knew that Amir's heart was full of love and strength. The story of Amir and Leela became a symbol in their city. It reminded people that kindness could change lives and that courage was found in the smallest acts. Amir's journey showed that no matter where you start, hope and goodness can lead you to a bright future. And so, Amir's story continues. A story of a poor boy who saved a pregnant woman and found a new life full of promise, friendship, and dreams. Amir grew older with a quiet strength inside him. The boy who once lived in a small, dusty neighborhood was now a young man full of hope and purpose. Life had given him a second chance, and he was determined to make the most of it. Every day he woke up early, ready to face the challenges ahead. He studied hard at school, knowing that education was the key to a better future. Layla stayed close to Amir, not just as a benefactor but as a true friend and mentor. She often reminded him that no matter how far he went, his kindness and courage were his greatest treasures. Amir never forgot those words. They guided him through difficult moments when he felt tired or unsure. His family was proud of him. His mother smiled more often, and his siblings looked up to him with admiration. The bigger house and better life had brought comfort, but it was Amir's determination that truly changed their world. He was no longer just a boy surviving each day. He was a young man building a future. Amir dreamed of giving back to his community, wanted to help other children who faced the struggles he had known. He often visited his old neighborhood, bringing books and supplies for the local school. He told the children stories about hope, bravery, and kindness. His story inspired many, showing that even a poor boy could change his life and the lives of others. One day, Amir stood in front of a crowd gathered for a special event. Mayor and many important people were there. Amir was invited to speak because of his journey and the difference he was making. He looked out at the faces before him, some young, some old, all listening carefully. Amir spoke simply but from his heart. He told them about the day he saw a woman in need and decided to help. He spoke of the courage it took to do what was right, even when others did not. He spoke of hope and how a single act of kindness could change lives. The audience was moved. Many wiped tears from their eyes. Amir's words touched their hearts. They saw in him a living example of strength and goodness. After the speech, Lela hugged Amir tightly. "You have made me proud," she said. "You have made all of us proud." Amir smiled, feeling grateful. But he knew this was not just his success. It was the success of everyone who had helped him and believed in him. As years passed, Amir finished school and began to teach. He became a teacher in the very neighborhood where he had grown up. He worked with children who faced hardships like those he once knew. He helped them learn, dream, and believe in themselves. Amir's life was a circle of kindness and courage. The boy who had saved a pregnant woman had been saved in return not just by her help, but by the hope she gave him. One quiet evening, Amir sat with his family around a small fire. The stars shone brightly in the sky. He thought about the journey he had taken from a poor boy running through busy streets to a young man standing tall and proud. He remembered the words Layla whispered to him in the hospital room. Words that had stayed with him forever. Never lose hope. Tears filled his eyes, but they were tears of joy. He whispered softly to himself, I will never lose hope. I will keep being kind. I will keep being brave. Amir's story spread far and wide. It became a tale told by parents to their children, a story that reminded everyone that even in the darkest times, there is light. That one small act of kindness can change the world. The bond between Amir and Leela remained strong. They continued to work together, helping others and building a future filled with hope and love. Amir knew life would have challenges ahead, but he was ready. With courage in his heart and kindness in his soul, he was prepared to face anything because he had learned the most important lesson of all, that no matter who you are or where you come from, your heart can shine bright and change lives forever.